when they're working against PRX's defense, PRX puts up so much of a fight into the mains, A main, B main, and I think that XLG need to be very snappy at punching these forward positions. I think having a Neon and a Yoru in your comp to take down those angles is a good spot.
Oh, it's Noman's not playing Deadlock anymore. It's going to be Noman, Neon, and Raga Yoru. I really like this.
I do too.
I like it a lot.
I'm completely on board with this. I think you have so many different fighting tools, again, to punish PRX overextending, and again, you call it overextending, but they are often dominating on those forward lines. I think also with the way that Noman was dominating back on Bind, you could not ask for a better guy to be stepping into that second duelist role for the team here on Sunset.
I think this might be his 7th or 8th agent that he's
played
on this team.
Literally everything.
Yeah, you're right. I do think, so when I saw the change from Waylay to Raze, I thought, okay, they're going to want to fight it out with PRX, and I think we saw a lot of that in the first half. I think this follows that same line of thinking. They're going to want to duke it out with PRX, and that's a hard thing to do. They did it in the first half, kind of fell apart in the second half. I'm hesitant to see this on Sunset.
Yeah, and if that map was PRX needing to warm up, they're going to get scarier, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be more warmed up on Sunset. It is their map pick. But there is a switch up on the side of the comms, at least for XLG, so maybe that's throwing another spanner in the works for them. I don't know how you guys feel, but I would love to hear what Mitchman and Tombiz thinks about that little agent change.
Well, Tom, how's that tickled your fancy?
I don't know. I feel like being a little bit more boisterous could be nice. I think Noman definitely had a few moments individually. I do fear that trying to almost beat PRX with firepower and aggression it might not work. I think it's a bold play. I do want to focus though on Happyway because I feel like he had a pretty poor first map, and he's someone that the Des highlights I like to highlight as well as one of their best players individually. He's now a pivotal part, especially on the defense and on the lurk. If he's having a poor performance, PRX win easy.
No, without a doubt. As you said as well, looking at Neon, it will be point of contact. No Man's Sky was stellar when it came to that first map.
Look at the
PRX, they didn't get the memo. They think they're still on the attack side. They've pushed through mid with 3. Full control, 4 in fact. You can count the player towards the door of Patman, who will be safeguarding Market. But this is all about the flank game, and there is, luckily, a trap waiting for them there. So it won't be a complete surprise that there's someone there. It just might be a bit of a surprise quite how many players Happyway is about to see.
Yeah, Patman's the only player elsewhere, down to 1 HP already, so I have to be a bit more careful. But you can see they have switched up where they are defending this spike from, or pushing all the way around. It hasn't mattered though. The swarm that is PRX has given them an advantage, and Device is going to start defusing. He's just going to stick behind the wall. They need to run back around over the top. They need to go, and it seems like they are not going to be able to deal with anything. It is diffused in front of their nose. Rocker, he did well, and I think Device even stopped for a second because he was like, okay, someone's going to jump on this wall, and then they didn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were too busy dealing with players towards main. It's a nasty little strategy, and one that has worked wonders. There was a gap on the, on the left side here, as we see it from Forsaken's perspective. It could have been exploited on the wraparound as well, so no surprise that he was a little bit worried. And in the end, Rorga surviving on 1 HP, but it doesn't make a difference. It is 1-0 start for PRX. And we want to see XLG on the board early because we saw it in the last one. PRX slow to start. We even heard it in the comms. They called it. Let's start slow, and then we get them. Paraphrasing.
Yeah, you can't start a train at full speed. That's not how it works.
That is true. Got to pick it up. They only had to dock into the station, speak with the conductor Alex one time, and it was plain sailing.
I love watching something because, like, you would see him play an agent that you think is like, okay, supportive util lineup, and then he's playing contact with a sniper rifle at B main. It doesn't necessarily add up. I also love the fact that we've seen these changes to Sage, obviously making the range of that wall so much further. So Devi obviously places it 2 millimeters away from where he is. Yeah. This round, expectation incredibly low. Any weaponry drop would be nice, and hey, Braga has dropped one of the rifles, and that should be retrievable. Oh, good selection, though, from something.
Will be retrievable, but at a heavy cost indeed. Round goes Jing, he's down to 15. Doesn't need to swing as something covers everything. That. 2-0 start for PRX, 4 players alive. Big weapon still carried through, and it's a strong start. But this round is really where we get the litmus test. A good sign early on, though, is seeing Rarga be able to deliver. As we said, he's someone that comes into, as he said as well, he's someone who comes in here with something to prove, and he's certainly playing like it.
Yeah, I definitely think so. As I said, like last time we saw XLG at Masters, it wasn't really anything to write home about. Like obviously we've seen them have a fair few roster changes throughout the year trying to fill in for you, and I don't mean you, obviously.
For me?
No.
Shadows traveling.
You trying to replace me, Tom? Is this like Baby Bay? It's all right. I'm ready to play.
Okay.
Me against him.
Your Phoenix might be better than his. We'll have to wait.
Oh, well, there's no need for that.
This purchase is definitely an odd one, though. You've got yourself a Buckium for Forsaken. Sting is still in play. Like, this is around the XLG nigh on half to win. Otherwise, the amount of economy upgrades that there will be. Dimensional Drift only one away as well. Could be powerful in that post pump, but it is a wide net currently being thrown out by XLG. And while Forsaken mentioned that he had a weaker gun, it didn't stop him taking a fairly aggressive angle.
45 on the clock, fairly committed from XLG. They got to go towards this site. Jing to deal with to start. Great stun, but he gets out of there thanks to the blast packs. Well placement. 35 now. XLG got to pick up the pace. Wrapping around, but PRX are flooding back into the site. 3 players here now with one deeper towards the spawn. This is essentially a 4-man hold. 25 seconds, and they call for the rotate. Yeah, it's the right call. They've dragged all these players over. And they'll make their way across mid with that smoke with ease. This should be a plant, but I'm always wary of PRX's ability to be disruptive. Something, he's in there. Only one.
Yeah, and they managed to make it to the site. The spike was being guarded all the way through. A good redirection, especially with the Sage Wall being used in towards the spawn. There was the box up top that you would have had Devi watching from afar. And now even with no man in the spawn, just waiting to try and catch them as they fall out. The fact is, though, PRX, all of these guns are going to be upgraded in the next round anyway, so they might as well try and do some damage.
Now, that's exactly what they're looking for. You see all this deep clears of middle. The idea is certainly in their head that someone could be lurking around. Rifle picked up for Devi as well. Good chance to make these exits very costly. He will close in towards this spawn. I don't think Jing has any chance of... Oh, actually, he might have a chance of having an impact if he goes back to mid. But Devi is shut down. Okay, 2-1. 4 players alive for XLG. That's a picture-perfect round 3.
Yeah, and that's exactly as clean as it needed to be. It definitely got a little bit dangerous, and as we mentioned, like you're always going to see these sort of timing fights looking to be utilized by the side of PRX. It gets them a lot of early information. So I like the fact that with 20 seconds left, they were willing to sort of gamble on that rotation, not fearful that they'll be caught somewhere else. Even still, though, it's going to be an immediate purchase back up from the side of PRX, and I'm kind of looking at Rarga here. He's going to immediately utilize that Dimensional Drift. Bear in mind, the only weapon he has is the Shorty.
Perfect for this ultimate. One flash left. Oh, he's come out without one. Moving around through the smokes, but the wraparound for Patman. Quick on his feet. He'll take Rarga down. Now it's Rifles, though, that they will be up against. The trick play hasn't worked. Devi's dead. Dead to rights. It's even a headshot from No Man to lock it in. But still, a 2 versus 4. Can't even get the 3 out before Patman's dealing with another. PRX holding strong so far. And Happy Way failing to take down Jing. Now that's the information. The element of surprise gone for his position. And the wraparound super late from Forsaken. It's going to cause issues, but Viva seemed aware of it. The timing, though, he corrects in time, but he can't quite land the shot.
Yeah, there's been a lot of moments, especially with how low some of these players are, where there's a chance, but it seems like PRX are ready and raring to go on this defensive half. A third already picked up, and I have to say that the orb placement coming out from Patman there in the early stages of that round was just wonderful. Like you see this attempt to play into the back of the site, and he's just denied all of it, just keeping hold of that control.
Yeah, it's the fact that he's able to walk into spawn to be safe and then back out with his smoke, right? It's so much value delivered as a result of that. I'm not sure what's being said there. I love these guys. The energy on the stage is different, and 3-1 up. Energy will only increase as these rounds keep going their way, but PRX, deep play, caught by the stun, caught by the paranoia. Jing stuck in the corner, and they know it, but in goes Divide. Happy to help out his buddy, set him up for success. Forsaken's found one elsewhere, but Jing looking the wrong way will be dropped by Nomad. We're back to a 3v3. Spike still secure for XLG, and this map, it doesn't get any smaller. The less players to defend it. This should be an advantage for the attacking side.
Yeah, it feels like the first 15 to 20 seconds of the round lead to those early battles, and then there's a break in the action. I do feel like XLG throughout this matchup so far have actually done quite well to deny a lot of these plays from PRX. I think it was even Nomad just having a reactive stun immediately to try and slow that push. Now with 50 seconds left, early rotation available. Borfo second up top, but he has been dealt with immediately. Nomad doing well on this Neon.
Spike planted.
Spike will now be planted.
They know players on side are stuck there. Snakebite stops them from falling back and stops Happyway from helping out, but now it's faded. Happyway on the angle, looking for the fight, finding it, and Nomad tripling up. That's what we needed to see. XLG won't let PRX run away with this as they push up to 2.
Yeah, I was definitely a little bit skeptical with Nomad going onto the Neon. I think definitely a role that he has played quite a bit in terms of that individual brilliance. I think we saw some of the skill in the last map, but as said, even some of the reactive stuns he's putting out, willing to sort of take a bit of a gamble, take a risk versus these players, and the timing was then in his favor, but even just winning, some of the fights that maybe he necessarily shouldn't. Not even flexing while he does it. 3-2. Economy of PRX has taken a hit here though, a pistol for something, although at times it doesn't even feel like a detriment.
Well, PRX, think back to the last map when they had that astonishing, I think, round 5. A bunch of pistols in play, and that's maybe the most dominant that they'd looked. For XLG, ulti's available. They need those safety nets. The rotates from Coconut, the information. You have a Hunter's Fury soon. Deep play from Nomad. No old popped. It's down to his rifle. But Coconut's fallen in middle. Rarga, good to trade that back. Now they've sensed the weakness. Blood in the water, but Forsaken still standing strong. Deep fight from Nomad, though, has managed to pull this back to a 3v3. And with the ult pop, he's got a tough fight up against Jing, and he won't win it. But with Forsaken going down, the numbers keep going back and forth till there's only 2 men left standing.
The 1v1 that leaves the Sovas on either side. Bit of a risky position to plant from, and because of that, something is going to get away with it. It was kind of as easy as that 1v1 could have gone, but that was, I felt like that. I always talk about an observer's nightmare as a round where there's just a million pieces of utility. I feel like that was it. It was just one kill, but all on different points of the map, like timing to catch out Patman, the drop down avoiding the fake out, Jing winning the battle versus a slightly shaky Nomad, and then coming all the way down to the 1v1 at the end is PRX to keep their lead, extend it a little further. But there is still investment here for either side. In fact, both teams' economy here is on the brink. It's only something that has a few extra credits to spare, so a winner of this round, it could be worth a double.
This is going to be so punchy. Could even have a Hunter's Fury off rip coming through from Viva. They want to get aggressive. They want to play this one fast. You can already see Nomad taking space. Paranoia burned by PRX early to try to slow them down. Jing goes in swinging, won't find much, and TP from Coconut. He's deep in their spawn. They are making so much pressure towards this A site. Forsaken, he doesn't crumble under that pressure to start, but finally, he will come crashing down. A 4 versus 3. Res possible for PRX, but the positions of those bodies, it doesn't make it look very likely. Happyway's got beautiful timing, but the shots don't land. Luckily, Rarga's there, picking up the pieces and leaving something alone and trapped in with the enemy. He can't even get out till that wall fades, and he will be cut down to size before that happens. Great round from Happyway after a little shaky of a start.
Yeah, like he gets the job done, but I think also the hesitation there is that he realizes how much value his position holds. He goes swinging wide, guys, they can potentially be isolated on the site. Instead, him staying alive is much more of a burden than even the individual kill that he could have got instead. And it's sort of the Happyway I wanted to see. Like, yeah, sure, still maybe a few jitters here and there, But the guy is always good at having those backsteps, always good at sort of having those multi-frag rounds. And I like the change of pace from XLG. I said so far, I feel like even in the last map, they called a decent game. Like, it didn't look like they were getting outclassed.
And the important thing there is, right, PRX, on that A-side hold, not only do they have numbers, but they have the wall behind them, so they're not even worried about a mid-flank coming through. Everybody is focused on that choke point, and Coconut being able to go into the spawn makes that much more difficult to do. The guys on site can't just swing out wide and hold the short fight. They can't just look for the elbow duel, because they'll be shot up from spawn potentially. And you have all of these headaches created for PRX. That very much felt like PRX getting a taste of their own medicine.
Oh, back to a low bite. See how slow and methodical they're being on the other side. Forsaken has been able to take that first fight. Now the move away is somewhat to sell a ruse for something, but he's going to be able to hear any of the steps as they rotate. They've still got this aggressive position from Jing. Bear in mind, he does have the showstopper available. Probably won't want to use it immediately, but no, never mind. He's going to go straight in, and the steps were faked out. That was Raga's utility that has baited the ultimate, but now they go back towards something. Are they going to check the box? No, they're not, but it's a bit whippy. Not quite connecting. Divine now the next man up, and Happyway just thriving. The Dane just seemingly slipping out of the round. And what could have been incredibly costly ends up with still 4 players standing.
Great correction from the previous map where PRX were finding so much value with these weaker weapons. Forsaken.
Very careful.
The only player that, well, he didn't have that much of a weaker weapon. He had the Guardian. Wasn't the Sheriff doing the work. And he's recovered a rifle, a chance to do more damage. Surely the round win is already lost.
I'm
found
starting
one
to question
for free.
that.
It could be an ace, but the problem is you've got Viva deep playing with that Thunder's Fury! And Forsaken now only has that ult to deal with. He now knows where his opponent is, but the Hunter's Fury surely decides the fate of this round. It's already activated. It might seem early, but the time on the clock is already so low. Forsaken goes in, pops it, goes for the stick. He might have time. It's going to be desperately close. The spam coming in from Viva doesn't get there in time! But it's a 0.02 second difference. Blink and you miss it, but that margin of error swings in XLG's favor.
So you know earlier where I said it might take a while to beat that 1v4? We almost just had it beaten, and it was 0.02 that made it not. That's absurd.
I can feel myself swallowing my own words.
But I'll be honest with you. You doubting Forsaken in this clutch, I'm a little bit disappointed.
They have Hunter's Fury post plant in a 3v1 with the spike planted ages ago.
But Forsaken.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'd like to argue with you, but what we just saw means my point's invalid.
Oh, that was so desperately close.
0.0, that's ridiculous.
Wow.
Nice shot.
You can see the confidence right back in. Aggressive start, but this is what I'm saying. XLG have always been doing well to recover any of those early advantages that PRX are able to gain. Jing could be expecting to be challenged. He's going to spot nothing outside the A site, and because of that, it's allowed for an immediate rotation for Forsaken to get back into B. They have definitely been red, and in fact, Jing can now just lock them in.
Smoke up, it's decently deep, but that drone, oh, it didn't see him. He's gotten inside the smoke. Forsaken. Oh, it's beautiful from PRX with Jing wrapping around the other side. That slipped through the smoke. It's been a problem. A couple of times you've seen that finesse from PRX, them being quick on their feet, able to get especially smokes, poison orbs, it doesn't matter what it is, but able to get that positional advantage in some of these plays. Even still, a round gap of only 1.
It's definitely been a different match to expected, but still those moments. Jing still performing to a high level.
Now this one is, it's not looking great, is it?
No.
4 Sheriffs, an attack side Bucky. It makes a bit more sense when it's on the Neon. Slide in, get real close.
Oh yeah, I've seen plenty of TikToks of that sort of gameplay. We'll see if No Man has it in the locker. It might not matter. Already one going to his teammate, and there you go. That's a Bucky onto Jing. This fast-paced 1-2 punch of the Duelists have not only got them positioning, but it's also got them in with that weaponry. And the bigger danger as well is, okay, sure, you had yourself the ultimates. Hunter's Fury might now be able to cause some damage. No man gone, rifle dropped, drone already being sent through. Raga just immediate on the headshot.
Not hit by the drone either. He sticks around. Divide, though, the one to punish him. The res available. There's a player that can be res. There it is. Patman's brought back. Even numbers. And it gets Coconut curious. He swings out looking for the duel, but now they'll go pushing into him. Viva down, and it's Happy Way against 2. But he's brought it to the 1v1. 6 HP. A headshot needed, but it's Divide jumping with the shorty to close this one out. A round that should have been PRX's. They will just about get it.
If they
I'm starting to doubt myself there.
If they lost 2 rounds to time with that close, that would have been madness. But unfortunately, the ring around the rosy, the only man falling down in this case was Happy Way. Nice shot from Raga. In fact, an excellent round from him in general. Making this one competitive. I feel like Noman actually walked further into that shock dart rather than away from it. But you understand the panic. A nice attempt. Very low by round, and Happy Way definitely.
I think he was doubting it as well.
Well, he has just watched the spike go off at 0.02.
Yeah.
So you can kind of understand why he's nervous, but not quite as close.
Yeah, the flashback's definitely hitting hard there.
Yeah. XLG.
6-4. XLG, they've called a timeout here on their attack side. That's their first one used, and indeed the first one of this map. It has been a pacey set of rounds. I've liked, as you've said, the direct approach. Even here, they had sheriffs, they had a bookie. We started out, it doesn't look too good, and it comes down to a 1v1 with
mixed it up a lot
second.
as well. I think that's what, whenever I see a team that can only like dive or only do executes, I'm like, okay, this is an average team with maybe great coaching staff, but it feels like a lot of the sort of slower rounds with mid-rounding, I've been impressed by XLG, and you take away the pistol and the follow-up, and this is an incredibly close match. The problem, though, is now they are in a case of this ends 6-6, you go into the second half, you're happy. If this ends 8-4, I think most people will have a lot of faith in the attack side of PRX to be able to close this one out.
Well, touching base as well before we get back into the round, just on Happy Way, someone you highlighted as he had a tough, and the desk highlighted, had a tough map previously, and look at him now, 11-7. He's been there on this attack side in the previous round, almost ended up winning it out on time in the 1v3. Impressive performance. And, well, Raga's got to wait for his teammates to break that wall open. It's going to limit how far he can get. He can barely make it to the backside. Instead, he's going to tuck in default. Hunter's Fury coming through. Fired in deep from something. Clearing out these close corners on the site. Not finding any tags, but delaying the push.
It didn't really allow for much space to get back in either from the side of PRX. They're waiting to move as a unit. Batman does have ult, but unless they really need this space, it's going to be tough. Devigo's a little bit ahead. They were still setting up utility on the remaining players, and No Man has been able to take that close contact and put them into spot, and especially with Forsaken coming in on this flank, he's managed to get past the trip. That's why nobody's looking in this direction. If this smoke fades, he might just have himself at least one freebie, but he's looking for more. In fact, he's going to take it all! Forsaken, a one-man retake! And another on the board for PRX.
Shrouding his steps to great effect. He made it past that trap. As you said, camera placed deep on the site. They're worried about the retake from Market. They're worried about early contact for the player over on that box and backside. And instead, he smokes main, so they think, well, he's obviously not coming from here. They want to block this line of sight. And the timing could not have been better. That round was Forsaken for XLG. The timeout making no difference.
Sit down!
And one round left to play with. For XLG, 7-5 still possible. I'll move to the defense where we've had our questions. The answer's not far away, but will they be a pistol round away from correcting the scoreline or trailing by 4?
God, this is where the last round really could give them a little bit of wiggle room. Well, we've said that it's been a closer affair than maybe expected, but if it ends 2-0, ends 2-0. They'll still be yet to win a map at a VCT international event. Maybe after how close the first one seemed, they might feel a little bit hard done by for that, but it won't change a thing. Already you can see some of the vulnerabilities, and more worryingly, it's that showstopper Viper's Pit on the other side. Like, there's so much to play with in this final round of the half.
Oh, the showstopper! It's found 3! Jing! That's unbelievable! XLG put it all into this, around that can correct the wrongs of this half, but that has come falling apart. An explosive entrance into B main from Jing. An 8-4 locked in PRX, doubling the score of their opponents in that first half.
It's just absolute insanity. Like, it just came down to a lot of those contact plays and Jing managing to get it done. Nonetheless, it's a pretty big recovery. We'll see if XLG can turn it going into the second half.
Let's go.
Welcome back, folks. The halftime concluded, and it's time to get back into the game as we look at the Coinbase Econ report for our first half. And, well, it has to be said, PRX, they should be leading in terms of the stats, 8-4 up.
Yeah, for sure. It's been one of those games where there's been a lot of crazy things, and a lot of it happened just in the last couple of rounds. If you've just joined us, you've missed a lot. I think we had a 0.02 spike exploding with almost what was an ace for Forsaken. He then decided, okay, I'm just going to stick to the 4Ks for today, come back behind and eliminate the whole opposing team in a retake. And then the next round, Jing decided to get 3 with a showstopper at the very beginning of it and end it before it even began. For XLG, this now comes down to a play of resilience. Like, can you turn the tide? And I'll be honest with you, Mitch, I think it starts with a pistol.
Very much so. A loss here send PRX skyrocketing into the lead. A 9-4, probably 10 on the board. And then they're already on the home stretch while XLG trail, clamor their way back into the game or attempt to. I like this early play. Similar to what PRX did. 3 players, walkabouts on mid, 1 late towards A, but it's pressure on Happyway. He can't overextend and go down. Just falls back. Looks to punish anyone over aggressing and hopes that this flank can find a lot of value. But PRX look like they want to play aggressive.
Well, this is where the wall causes issues. You're going to block off one avenue and then try and pressure the other. The only thing they really need to worry about is the flank, because they've sectioned everything else off. And actually, no, they're looking the wrong way, completely the wrong way. They've been foiled by their own plot, but there's still a couple of players standing. Jing, Forsaken, not in the best of positions to try and deny this, but that time is already ticking. Only somebody just getting onto the spike. They need to try and wrap back around, and that's exactly what Forsaken will do in this match. This man could do no wrong.
Oh, his impact has been outrageous. That pistol round was slipping through their fingers. The flank that should have been expected When he found his 4K from main, there was at least a trap there giving them some security on the other side, but PRX had no reason to believe that that space was clear. They get caught off guard, and oh, it's just so nasty.
All I'm going to say is he's already got a bracelet on one arm. I think he's looking for a bracelet on the other. If he keeps this sort of performance up the entire tournament, I think he's going to be dual-wielding by the end. This man knows how to put up MVP performances. And well, map number 1, he always said that the agent he'd never played was Brimmy. He started playing the Brimmy, and it didn't look fantastic, but stick the man on an Omen. He's having a ball. And well, I said, it was almost imperative for XLG that they get themselves a pistol. 9-4 down, their opponent's map choice. PRX going into the attack half. And when they have shown strength on this map, that's where it's been. Solid victories on that side versus Sentinels, Fnatic, T1 more recently. And it was a defensive side defeat when they struggled versus Zeta. Everything is set for them to now take this map.
What's a good stack from XLG. 4 players on the B side, 2 of them with Sheriffs. The other on the polar opposite of where this hit's coming through. A lot of players from PRX, though, covering this plant. They've got numbers even after the barrels run, or the mags run dry. Something with a nice shot over the wall, and it looks like a lot of the danger already dealt with. No man traded out, and that's really the story of this take. Even if one player lands that first shot, PRX flooding in like this, they've got the numbers to back it up. Finally, it will be divide or close, and 10-4 on the line. But this was not the round XLG were fighting for. It all comes down to round 15. Rifles in play, both sides.
Yeah, well that was the investment of the last round. It was mostly into stingers, a couple of rifles. I also think this is the point you'll make a lot of the time when it comes to Sage. Like there's been critique a lot through history of this agent, but one thing it gives you, especially on a map like this with a lot of different elevations, is sometimes you don't know the angles you're covered or not. And that's about as free as a kill as you're ever going to get. Because let's be real, there aren't that many teams to play with the Sage. Okay, a very aggressive early start to the round, but it is No Man. Been impressed so far with him on the Neon. And he started off strong again.
Well, yeah, it's No Man and Jing both trying to get that early contest for this corner. And even with the Boombot backing him up, Jing can't get it done. Forsaken, I think, heard that cam activate. Certainly now did. He knows it's there. He's calling for it. And we see the pings that he wants to walk on through. Has to catch a timing. Even with that smoke, a TP will be heard. He'll be seen walking through. Ooh. Nice shot by No Man yet again, delivering. And as he looks up at the cam, that's a wonderful punish. What is going on with something here? And a swing from No Man that gets punished. Something's got 3. And I think Devi is about to go down. He's trapped in the corner with a sliver of HP. But in comes his old buddy. Something here to save the day is 4, then 5! An ace from something! An XLG from 1 foot in the grave to bury deep behind round after round of PRX success.
I need to see the POV on the first 2 kills, because I feel like there were 2 players in elbow. Yeah. And I don't really understand how he's walked out of it alive. Oh, they're just isolated. Okay, fair enough. He gets 2 bites of the cherry. It's incredibly clean, though. An absolute headshot machine throughout the round. And I don't even know if he reloaded in the middle of all of that. It was always going to be one of them, you felt like, to take the first ace of the tournament. And something will be there. Mentioned maybe Forsaken looking for another bracelet. Maybe he's looking for one that goes with his keyboard.
They'll have to be in gold. 11-4. And a timeout for XLG. Oh.
At these last few rounds, it hasn't even felt like the round 14. You're talking about you're on eco. Round 13, you probably should have won, but Forsaken clutches it out.
Yep.
Round 15, you probably should have won, but you get aced. Yeah. Like, what are you going to say? Oh, we need to get together a little bit more.
Don't let Forsaken get a 4K. Don't let something get an ace, and we're good. And that's the thing, I feel like...
It's crazy that you retired as a coach in 2020, or was it 2021?
I didn't say retired. I'm still open to offers.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
evaluate in the offseason.
Maybe when Alliance come back, you'll get another job.
I think that's the only way. Well, I'm happy where I'm at for now. Let's put it that way. I think I'm better suited, hopefully. But for PRX, 11 rounds on the board. XLG in a position where this is really a rock and a hard place. Do you fully invest now? Do you wait? They're going to come in with 2 Guardians, mostly keeping some credits for the next. Nice opening from Devi, and this should be a relatively easy round. That was one of the Guardians that he took down, though. The main punches that they're packing,
Okay.
full blinded up. Patman still looked like he was close to taking that kill.
Yeah, that's a pretty hefty upgrade for Noman as well.
Given the Coconut.
Willing to risk it.
Nice.
And also, Forsaken's been caught TPing. This is putting them in a good spot. Bear in mind, a spike plant here for Devi would get him his ultimate online and likely bring back someone who's been terrifying if it even gets to that point, because
You will not kill my
they've already got an advantage.
Yeah, worth putting it in, obviously, in this position. If something can fade back, this is where you'll see your Sova play in main. Most of the time, Hunter's Fury for post plan, but no, they want to fight. Of course they do. This is PRX we're talking about here. What's going on? Is that fight? Devi closes it out. That came down to a 1v1. They needed a 3K and a res to get it across the line, but you know what? A round's a round. 12-4 now for PRX.
There's so much I hate about this round.
That was
like,
crazy.
it was just like, at this point, you can feel like they are just vibing with how aggressive they're being. TP into the site with basically nothing alongside it. A complete and utter whiff, running into a smoke in between a wall, so there's only the tiniest of angles. And yeah, that is a nervous smile if ever I've seen one.
I aced like 2 rounds ago.
Yeah.
Well, here's
and
the
it's popped the
Hunter's Fury.
Hunter's Fury immediately.
It's an early one, and it's Forsaken going deep on the back of the Chaos. Viva, good for the trade, and Noman doing the same. Numbers light on the A site. Noman's the last point of defense, so he'll fall back. Won't continue the aggression. While the rotate had come through, Viva, who started over here towards A, went back to take that kill and spawn, drones out mid, clears it, and they're comfortable now that there's no more pressure on A with that deep control coming in from Noman. There's nothing on mid. They weren't looking, they weren't walkabouts. So the B site's where the hit should be coming through. They'll keep in 2-2. But Happy Way and Coconut, they're the ones that have a chance to keep their team in it here and now.
Cage immediately used. Going through all of this utility. Feels like a little bit of a risk. Paranoia even being thrown through as well. So they're going to know that there's a couple of players here at least. Curious to see if PRX still opt to actually execute in this direction. They're throwing in more utility. Boombot to clear close.
35 seconds. Now we're limited on options. We gotta go, but the spam's through the smoke. They'll take down Devi in the choke point. The shock dart's fantastic, and the swings are even better. XLG with a round win, still trailing by 7. But they gotta take this comeback one step at a time.
That's a good round from them. Something to note as well is it really does feel like the Sage Wall, how far you can get it now, actually makes things really interesting, because Devi put that wall in from inside main. Like, he was just like, I might as well give it a go, just try and give us a little bit of extra space, but it feels like it goes incredibly far. I don't mind the buff though, because I feel like a lot of the aspects of what people using this were before were basically boosting themselves up. Brings a slight bit of tactical element to it. Well, a weak buy, but potentially a much faster one. I like the kill trips though.
Great trip positioning indeed. It's a little
Never mind.
unexpected. Jing hit that. Happy Way down and out. Jing revealed in the corner, but he's got backup now as they start to float back out. Noman looking for market control as a deep late play from Patman. Will it be attempted? But there might not be anyone left to flank. Jing's already got 3.
He's still going.
Coconut's being watched on the flank as Jing looks for his 4th. He won't find it, but they'll clean up anyways. 13-5, 2-0. PRX looking lights out on the second map as they claim their win to open up champions here in Paris.
Fact is, you can see that individual form, especially on their own map choice. Forsaken something, performing incredibly well. Jing joining the party towards the end of it. And in map number 1, seeing both Jing and Something still performing to that degree. I will say though, I feel like there are silver linings for XLG. Map number 1 especially, I think they definitely look like they could compete, but for a couple of clutches here and there, and who knows, I think going into that lower bracket match, there's going to be more opportunities, because not everybody plays as manic and as crazy as a PRX does. nonetheless, it is the expected result. We're one of our top-seeded teams coming into the tournament, 2-0 victory, and, well, I don't think anybody will want to match up against how they're currently playing, especially some of the stuff Forsaken is doing in the clutches.
Yeah, we saw signs of life, sparks of hope from XLG, but it is PRX coming in as the favorites and playing like it, especially on map number 2. They were a little slower to start in the first, but they found their rhythm by the end. And I like that they played against a team who was willing to, at times, match them on their own playstyle. They mixed it up. They didn't make this easy, but we saw just how deep the bench of individual skill goes on this PRX roster.